September 1970, Jordan. A king is fighting for his throne. A revolution is fighting for a homeland. And the world is staring down the barrel of a global war. For 22 days, the Hashemite kingdom of Jordan became a slaughterhouse. It was a civil war that pitted King Hussein against the Palestinian Fedayeen. But the shadows behind them were much larger. The Soviets, the Americans, the Syrians, and the Israelis were all one misstep away from a total collapse of the region. This is the story of Black September, the most dangerous month in modern Middle Eastern history. By 1970, Jordan had become a double-headed state. After the 1967 war, thousands of Palestinian fighters, what the Fedayeen, had moved into Jordan. Led by Yasser Arafat and the PLO, they weren't just refugees, they were an army. They set up their own checkpoints, collected their own taxes, and openly defied the Jordanian king. The breaking point came when the PFLP hijacked 4 international airliners and blew them up on a desert airstrip in Jordan, right in front of the world's cameras. For King Hussein, it was the ultimate humiliation. The message was clear: there isn't room for 2 kings in Jordan. On September 17th, King Hussein declared martial law. He unleashed his elite Bedouin troops on the PLO strongholds in Amman. But then, the nightmare escalated. Syria, backed by the Soviet Union, sent hundreds of tanks across the border to support the Palestinians. Jordan was outnumbered and outgunned. In the shadows, a desperate secret alliance formed. King Hussein reached out to the west. The U.S. moved its 6th Fleet into the Mediterranean, while Israel, at the secret request of the Jordanians and the Americans, mobilized its air force to signal to Syria, "Turn back or we enter the war." Facing the threat of an Israeli strike and American intervention, the Syrian tanks retreated. The coup had failed. By the time the fighting stopped in 1971, thousands were dead. The PLO was expelled from Jordan, fleeing into the mountains of Lebanon. But Black September didn't end in the desert. It evolved. Out of the ashes of this defeat, a new radical splinter group was born, naming themselves after the month of their failure, Black September. 2 years later, they would shock the world at the Munich Olympics. The 1970 Civil War reshaped the Middle East. It turned Lebanon into a powder keg, hardened Israel's borders, and taught the world that in the game of regional power, survival is the only law. If you value powerful stories of resistance and independence, subscribe to Histent, where forgotten history fights back.